top, top of the world. Get ready to tell him. Now is my time. Now is my time.
Sparkle smash, big time job.
It's the time, it's the place.
Oh my goodness!
So you're right on my tail.
And Zach Garner is gonna get the racing win.
Now is the time and the time is right. Now is the time and we here to fight. I came here to ride or to die, to be right on the top of this mountain. It's so
Tonight we return to the home of World Finals 23, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, just outside of Los Angeles for the epic conclusion of Stadium Championship Series West. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Monster Jam Primetime. I'm Scott Jordan alongside Adam Entignap. It has all come down to this event in Inglewood where Tristan England will look to finish off Ryan Anderson and win the first Stadium Series title of his career. Adam, what does he need to do to make that dream a reality?
Well, one of the big things is he has to drive smart tonight and be consistent. He also has to remember that these drivers are trying to beat him. He's been driving well all season. The entire season he has been on point, and that's why he has the lead right now. Don't look in the rearview mirrors. Don't worry about anybody else. Worry about yourself and drive your best. And
on the other side of that coin, of course, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger. Does his strategy need to change at all in order to win the series?
Well, he could drive a bit more aggressive tonight. You know, for Ryan Anderson, this is a do-or-die situation to try to come away with his sixth championship. For Ryan Anderson, just go out there, put the pedal to the metal, and I really believe that's when he drives best.
Let's hear from both drivers vying for the series championship, and we're going to start with Ryan Anderson as we join the son of a digger driver and Leslie Mears in this Northern Tool & Equipment pit report.
Everybody's heard you guys talk about it, but we're here to hear from the players out here. So, Ryan, for you, I know everybody's talked about it, this deficit coming in here, winning the championship. Where is your mindset now as it's almost go time?
My mindset's normal, man. I'm here to go out here and go wild for these fans in LA, man. I know there's a chance, and I'm not trying to ignore that, but it's slim. So I'm not going to let it ruin my night. I'm here to go wild per usual. I'm going to swing for the fences. If I connect, awesome. You know, I'm just going to go out here to go wild. So I'm not going to go out here and ruin my night trying to chase that down. I'm here to make sure these fans get the show they paid for, go wild like I always do.
Take a look at his wild stats for 2025, 50-7 with 12 racing wins. That has paced the series, 3 freestyle wins, 3 overall event wins. He does have his work cut out for him tonight as he looks up at Tristan England on the series leaderboard. Now let's hear from the driver with the points lead and rejoin Leslie, this time with Tristan England in another Northern Tool & Equipment pit report.
I'm sure you are sick of talking about this, but we have to. Like, it's the moment that you've built up to. You came so close a year ago, and now here you are in the driver's seat. You know, have you done the calculations? What has your preparation been like for this big event?
You know, one of my least favorite subjects in school was math, so I have not even calculated anything. I haven't really thought about any of it. I have nothing left to prove. I mean, I've won so many accolades in my career. I've won a world title. There's nothing that I need to prove, but I want to do this. I want to solidify my name in the history books for a series championship, and there's a lot of faith behind this whole team, and I can't help but get a little choked up and emotional about it because I know my wife, she pressures me because she knows I can do good. So I hope it all pays off today. So I got really great faith in the team. I got good faith in myself. I've got JCB family here. I've got my family watching from YouTube live at home. So let's go do it, man.
Emotions are high for Tristan England. There are his numbers: 11 skills wins, most on any stadium in Monster Jam, and of course 8 overall wins, first as well. Here's tonight's driver lineup for Stadium Championship Series West. Only one driver has competed in a non-World Finals event here, and that's Ryan Anderson back in 2023. All these drivers, though, Adam, trying to play spoiler tonight in the battle for the series championship.
Yeah, there's 2 drivers that we definitely have to look at. Bryce Kenny has been great this entire season, and Zach Garner has done phenomenal in this stadium.
Here are the current season points standings entering this final round. It is a 13-point deficit right now for Son of a Digger. JCB Diggatron is on top. Monster Mutt solidified in 3rd. Gravedigger in 4th. And Wildside and Megalodon both battling for that 5th spot. Drivers will compete tonight 3 competitions: JCB Racing, the Skills Challenge, and Freestyle. Points are awarded based on finish, with 12 going to the winner, and the driver with the most points at the end of the event is crowned champion. It is time for track talk. Adam, this track looks a lot different from the last time we were here for World Finals last year. How did drivers dominate it tonight and ride out with a win?
Well, one of the biggest differences is that the floor is a lot bigger, but similarities, it is very close to that Anaheim dirt, so I expect Ryan Anderson to do fantastic here tonight. It is a little bit wet on the floor, so in racing, these drivers are going to have to watch out, especially in those first rounds, to see how this track develops.
Well, the first competition of the night is JCB Racing. We're going to take a look at the bracket. Monster Mutt, Kraken, Gravedigger, JCB Digatron getting those first round buys. Adam, what jumps out to you from this bracket?
Well, I love the father-son battle to start it right off with Jamie and Zach Garner, but we do have a potential World Finals rematch between JCB Digatron and Wildside if he can get through that bracket.
We're not going to waste any time. We're going to get down to the track at SoFi Stadium for our first race of the evening. It is going to be Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl up against Caleb Blood in Sparkle Smash. Cole comes in 18 and 17, 2 racing wins. And here we go. We got our first green light in Inglewood, SoFi Stadium, the final hurrah in 2025 for Stadium West.
It's definitely very wet on that red side. Caleb Blood goes a little wide in turn 1.
Cole Bernard with the lead. Final quarter coming up for the Black Pearl. Caleb Blood right there with him. Clips the pod. And what a finish. We're going to go to the original Super Glue to the action replay. Caleb Blood gets the win.
Caleb Blood able to make up some ground on the Black Pearl. It just looks like finishing on that red side is very difficult, and you can see he grabs the pod right there before the finish line, giving Caleb Blood the edge.
Great race to kick off the JCB Racing bracket. Next up, it's Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger against Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur with an update on Son of a Digger. Let's bring Leslie Mears in.
It was a tuning change for both of these trucks. For Son of a Digger, it was timing, changing it from Denver at that high altitude. For Excalibur, it was a new set of injectors because the truck was bogging down.
Thank you, Leslie. Here we go. Ryan Anderson with the lead. Look at Mike Pagliarulo drifting Excalibur, just slinging it into that corner. And Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, gets the win, 21.095. Here's the original Super Glue to the action replay.
It looks like Excalibur here was noticing that it was slippery on that side of the track, but just has a little too much throttle, grabs the pod, and Ryan Anderson ends up coming away with the win.
Zach Garner in Wildside against Jamie Garner in El Toro Loco. The last time Zach Garner was on this track, he was holding the World Finals JCB Racing Championship trophy. And here we go, father versus son. Right now, El Toro Loco is on rails. Jamie Garner doing his best to take out his son.
Looks like Jamie Garner grabs that pod, gets the truck a little upset. But Zach Garner coming into this last slippery turn.
Slowed him down a little bit. Zach Garner clips the pod as well, goes into a bicycle. Looks like he was able to correct on the far side, 21.815 for Wildside.
Jamie Garner a little wide right here, and you can see that made him cut down, grab this pod, giving the edge to his son.
Our final round 1 race pits 2-time World Finals champion Tyler Duke and Megalodon Stars and Stripes against Matt Pagliarulo in Jester. Todd 4-0 on the season against Matt Pagliarulo. Some big-time air off the jump. Megalodon hits the turn first.
Oh, it looks like something's going wrong with Jester on that left side.
And Matt can't get out of the way all the way across. It doesn't matter because lane choice already associated next round. In round 2, the first round buys. Tyler Duke is going to get a pass in. He is going to be allowed to finish this race, and he gets in time 22.451.
See if we can see what happens. That right front tire looks like a planetary gear for Matt and Jester. Very fortunate for Megalodon getting a pass right through.
Let's take a look at the bracket moving into JCB Racing round 2. Monster Mutt, Sparkle Smash, Kraken, Son of a Digger, Gravedigger, Wildside, and JCB Digatron, Megalodon, Stars and Stripes. Fastest time in round 1, Son of a Digger, 21.095. 1 round down, 3 more to go until we crown our JCB Racing winner. We kick off round 2 next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by JCB, the official heavy equipment partner of Monster Jam. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. We have reached round 2 of JCB Racing. And our first round 2 matchup getting set on the track, Bryce Kenny, Monster Mutt, Caleb Blood in Sparkle Smash. Bryce comes into this race 24-19 with 2 racing wins. We got a green light. Round 2 is underway. And Bryce Kenny stays low. Caleb Blood goes high into the first corner. Monster Mutt with the edge.
Looks like Bryce Kenny hits this first corner well. That's going to give him the advantage at the finish line.
But a half truck length lead here for Monster Mutt. Bryce Kenny trying to finish off Caleb Blood. Nice turn, stays right on the chalk line. And Caleb Blood, what a finish on the far side of the track. But in the end, Bryce Kenny, Monster Mutt going to get the win. Take a look at the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Looks like that red side corner's tacking up just a little bit. But unfortunately, Caleb Blood losing just a slight bit of time, and Bryce Kenny comes away with the win.
20.656. Next up, Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. And he goes up against Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger. Ryan undefeated at SoFi Stadium in regular non-World Finals events. Here goes Son of a Digger around that turn again. Halfway through, Ryan Anderson with the big lead.
Looks like Nick spun off the start just a little bit, and Ryan Anderson has been able to keep that lead.
Great in-cap view there. Ryan Anderson up on the gray ramp, keeps the truck straight, centered across the jump.
Oh, Nick goes for a tumble.
An exciting finish, makes the save, but he's out of the race. 20.618 gets Son of a Digger on.
Yeah, this red side corner is very tricky. It looks like Nick grabs that pod, front wheels are up, but he stays on the throttle. The rear steer was still straight, it looked like, just upsetting the truck, lands on that front wheel and goes for a cartwheel.
A lot of drivers clipping that far side corner. Lane choice going to be crucial here. Next round 2 race is 5-time World Finals champion Adam Anderson and Gravedigger against your World Finals JCB Racing champion from a year ago, Zach Garner, in Wild Side. Great off the jump for both drivers. It is Wild Side hitting the turn first. Zach Garner out in front.
Zach Garner looks like he pushes wide just a little bit in that first corner. Man, that red side's difficult.
No slight edge for Wild Side, but Adam Anderson's going to sling out and spin out into a donut. And that's going to open up the lane for Zach Garner, Wild Side, to get the win. 21.305. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Adam Anderson had this one in the bag, but just pitched it in too aggressively. Tries to stay on the throttle and throttle out, but it just was not hooking up on that red side. Wow, that thing is slippery.
Still makes it look beautiful with a nice donut there, but clips the pod again. Gravedigger is out. Wild Side. Moving on, our final round 2 race features Tristan England, JCB Digatron against Todd LeDuc and Megalodon Stars and Stripes. For more on this race, let's go to Leslie.
Well, everybody's being super serious about this points race. One person who's joking around, Bryce Langlois. He joked with Todd LeDuc and said, "Hey Todd, I'll give you $100 if you can take Tristan out in round 2 and help us out a little bit." I know Todd didn't take the bait, and it was all fun and games, guys.
Well, didn't take the bait, didn't take the bet, and he's not taking this race at the moment. Tristan England with a huge advantage. And JCB Digatron stays alive, 21.079. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Tristan England doing exactly what he needs to do. You can see Todd LeDuc did not get the drive off the start, and then it goes a little wide right there, trying to set up for that corner, but Tristan England leaps and bounds ahead at that point.
Here's the bracket for JCB Racing semifinals. Monster Mutt meets Son of a Digger. Wild Side meets JCB Digatron. Son of a Digger fastest time again in round 2, 20.618. Coming up, we are down to 4. England and Anderson are still alive in the bracket. The semis are next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by the Utah Sports Commission. Utah, the state of sport. Salt Lake City, Utah is the home of Monster Jam World Finals 24, but tonight we revisit the home of World Finals 23, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. We have reached the JCB Racing semifinals. Starting us off this round, Bryce Kenny, Monster Mutt against Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger. Ryan does get lane choice, and he has taken the red lane, but Bryce Kenny with a better start off the line, and it is Monster Mutt into that first turn.
Ryan Anderson, I'm not sure what happened, but he was sleeping on the start. Then Ryan Anderson grabs the pod. This could be a big upset, Scott.
Gotta win this for the series right now. Monster Mutt not laying off the gas. To the finish we go. And Bryce Kenny gets the win, 19.978, fastest time of the night.
Wow, yeah, you can see Ryan Anderson just sleeping on the start there, not able to get off the line as fast as Bryce Kenny. And then Bryce Kenny here, you can see he just executes this last corner perfectly and gets the job done.
Zach Garner, Wild Side, Tristan England, JCB Digatron rematch from last year. With more on this, let's go to Leslie.
Zach Garner said the track is so slick out there, guys. He said he was disappointed to get put in the gray lane because that means he's going to have to deal with that turn pod that's a little set back on this gray lane side out here. He's worried about not making it around it.
Well, Tristan England not making it around the track at all. He clipped the pod and the ramp. And Zach Garner wild side moving on 20.711. Check out the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Wow, that's so fortunate for Ryan Anderson that Tristan was able to make that mistake. It looks like he just grabs the pod, the front end pops up, and he misses that finish line ramp. Wow, Zach Garner coming away with a win as well.
The JCB Racing finals are set. Bryce Kenny Monster Mutt gets lane choice against Zach Garner in wild side. Bryce with the fastest time of the night last round, 19.978 as Monster Mutt pulls up to the starting line. There's a good look at wild side. Zach Garner still undefeated on this track. Monster Mutt staying in the gray lane now. And Zach Garner pushed over to the red side. So here we go, finals into the corner. Bryce Kenny goes out wide and up over the ramp right now. Wild side with the lead.
Bryce Kenny was faster off the line, and I think they're very close to even right now. It's coming down to the last turn.
Final push off the ramp. Bryce Kenny gets the racing win, 20.479. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Bryce Kenny once again ending up on that last turn on the red side, able to execute 2 times in a row and come away with a big win.
Bryce earns his 3rd JCB Racing win of the season. He is standing by with Leslie Mears.
So everybody tonight was struggling with that last turn in the red lane. What made you keep gray lane as lane choice, and how were you able to master it?
Well, I actually moved over to the left lane. Actually, Ryan threw me in the left lane, and I liked it better. I thought the starting line was a little bit better than the right lane, just getting traction. And then, honestly, I just said I'm going to pitch it a little bit deeper into that final turn here on the red lane, and it worked out perfectly. So instead of kind of doing a U, it was almost like I was trying to do more of a diagonal through that turn and then just pitch it last second, and it worked out. We got all the traction we needed.
Thank you, Leslie. Bryce gets 12 points with a win. Here's your current BKT leaderboard after 1. Monster Mutt up top, wild side in 2nd, Son of a Digger in 3rd, and JCB Digatron in 4th, Sparkle Smash currently in 5th. Next up is SoFi was the skills challenge where drivers could attempt 2 technical maneuvers on 2 wheels so they can do a donut. And each driver was scored equally by an expert judge and fans on creativity, skill, and execution. With 12 points up for grabs, let's take a look back at our top 5 competitors. Coming in 5th, Zach Garner, wild side up on the container into a nose wheelie.
Great use of the container there for wild side. He's able to walk this thing out pretty far across that stadium. Great balance, able to implement the rear steer and set it down.
4th place goes to Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur, comes off the pod into a nose wheelie.
Gets a nice popper. Looks like he's using that rear steer back and forth, kind of wiggling those rear BKT tires, showing off for the fans, and then gets a little jump off the ramp.
3rd place, Adam Anderson, Gravedigger, starts with a popper to wheelie combo.
Love the creativity here, using that log to pop up onto the pod. Nice combination move.
2nd place, Tristan England doing what Tristan England does, coming off with a popper into a stoppie.
Yeah, definitely one of the best in 2-wheel skills. He's going to get a combination here. Up back to the wheelie, sets it on the wheelie bar. Nice control there for Tristan England. Sets it down one more time and ends with another combination. Going to walk it down this pod.
Spins the truck around, complete control there. Taking the win though, Ryan Anderson, son of a digger with a bicycle.
Big risk here with this bicycle, able to turn into it. Gonna try to maybe use that rear steer, flips it up back onto all 4s.
Incredible save there. Ryan adds 12 points to his total. We take a look at our leaderboard after 2. Son of a Digger 22, JCB Digatron with 20, Wildside 19, Gravedigger and Monster Mutt each with 15 points. But Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, hanging on to that lead. So Ryan continues to put the pressure on Tristan, picking up his 4th skills win of the season. After the competition, he spoke with Leslie.
Ryan, we saw you get a little sideways out there. Is this something you've been working on?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said earlier, I always throw the dice. I go for stuff that I'm probably not going to get, but if I get it, it goes crazy. When I go for the sidewall cyclone, a lot of times it goes too far and falls over. But when it does that, it's done. I've thought in my mind and tried it on the simulator, if I crab walk the rear steer into the ground, it might pick itself back up. Well, it didn't go exactly like that. It went actually better. It crab walked into another rollover, back onto the wheel, so absolutely awesome. That's what I love. That's the roll in the dice that I want. That's what I'm going for. That's that spectacular wow moment that I'm always gonna thrive on.
Coming up, the series championship is on the line in the final competition of the season. Find out who wins it all next on Primetime. Monster Jam is proud to partner with and support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit monsterjam.com/St. Jude to learn how you can join us in the fight against childhood cancer. We are back. We're round 24 at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood with Stadium Championship Series West. And Adam and I are back in the studio with more prime time. After 2 competitions, Ryan Anderson is on top of tonight's leaderboard, but still trails Tristan England by 10 points for the series win going into freestyle. Adam, son of a digger, though, left some points on the board in JCB Racing.
Yeah, he really needed to capitalize on Tristan England's mistake by not winning against Bryce Kenny. He left 2 more points on the board. It would have been an 8-point deficit right now, and that is absolutely crucial. That could be the difference here tonight, but truthfully, it's up to Ryan Anderson.
Well, speaking of being up to Ryan Anderson, there's no scenario for Ryan to win the series unless he wins freestyle. He would also need some help. Even with a win, Tristan would have to either roll or shut off within the first 30 seconds and not get a score. So odds are stacked against him, but that first tiebreaker is overalls, which Tristan has the advantage 8-3. So what does Tristan do here?
Well, I'll tell you what, Tristan is sweating in his palms. Somebody has communicated to him what is happening right now. Tristan England has to be so smart. He has to get out there and finish that first 30 seconds of freestyle. No matter what, that's the only way he can get a score. So go out, do a couple small jumps, drive around if you have to, just to get that score is going to be crucial.
Now, Tristan England, a lot on his mind right now, but we know his team has been busy back in the pits working on the truck, and it could be an issue possibly for freestyle. So with an update, we go to Leslie Mears in this Northern Tool & Equipment pit report.
The JCB Digatron was really bogging down during that last race, so Tristan brought it out back. What happened is last night they changed the transmission. It was having some bogging down issues as well. So what they did is they changed out the mag. So there's 2 mags on this truck. One is a mag box in the truck, and one is right behind me that you can see that red on the back of the engine. There's also a chip involved, and that controls basically all the timing on the truck to make sure that all the cylinders are in line with each other, that everything is working in time correctly to make lots of horsepower. They couldn't get it up to that 8,000 horsepower mark that they needed, only about 7,300. So what they did, they left the new chip in and they went back to the old mag that they had in before. They wanted to go with something reliable that they knew would work to help finish out the competition, because they didn't want Tristan to be mid-trick or mid-jump in freestyle and have the truck bogged down and not give him the power that he needed.
All right, thank you, Leslie. So it looks like his crew doing a great job to keep the truck in competitive order. Here's a nice freestyle order. We won't waste any time with the series points battle. Ryan Anderson kicks it off, and Tristan England will go A. So let's get back down to the track at SoFi Stadium to kick off freestyle with the series championship on the line. We're going with our current overall event leader, son of a diggers, Ryan Anderson. And remember, he needs to win freestyle to have any shot at winning this series. There is your criteria. Failure to complete that 1-minute mark will get 1 point deducted from your total score. And we will see what Ryan Anderson has in store here. He's got to be creative in his second start at Inglewood.
I love it, Scott. I swear he can hear us in the booth about driving more aggressively. He comes out with a huge 1-2 punch onto that pod. This is exactly what Ryan Anderson needs to do. And another thing on his side is he is just comfortable on this dirt in California.
3 freestyle wins in 2025. That ties him for first, with Adam Anderson, Bryce Kenny, and Zach Garner to lead the series. So a freestyle win here not only gives them a chance to win the series, but it also will lead the series in total freestyle wins. With moves like that, transferring from the backside almost into a berm transfer for Ryan Anderson and son of a digger. Flips it up into a popper, trying to catch it, but he may go over with momentum. He's got one wheel to try to catch it, and he's on the sidewalls. And Ryan Anderson is not done. He is putting up a fight for this series championship. What a save.
That could be one of the biggest moments in Monster Jam, making sure that he got that truck back on all fours. What a crucial moment from an absolute professional.
Still keeping this run going. Here comes Ryan Anderson. Big air brake check over the car stack. Body shredding off that son of a digger chassis. And Ryan Anderson continuing to go. Look at the body just clinging on by a bolt. There it goes, finally gone. And now Ryan Anderson is making some headway to the far side of the track. Morgan & Morgan backflip attempt here for son of a digger. First one out the gate, going for the backflip, and Ryan Anderson nails it. Tries to get a moonwalk, runs out of room. That'll finally do it. Here's the original Super Glue. Glued to the action replay. She loves it. She's saying 10 all the way.
Looks like Ryan Anderson right here jumps onto the pod. You can see he's just going to kind of kick it up, try to get a nose wheelie here Looks like that left front wheel locks up, but the right one doesn't. I still don't know how he made this save. Look at how slow the momentum is here. He turns into it. Looks like he throws it in reverse and then forward for a second and somehow spins out of it, Scott. That was truly an unbelievable save, making something happen out of nothing. Here's that big air onto the pod from Ryan Anderson. This was a fantastic freestyle for him, and then finishing off with that backflip. You can see the rotation was absolutely perfect, but he's just going to back up into that container and get shut off.
Great way to start the freestyle competition. Ryan Anderson, son of a digger, throwing one down 9.465. That could very well win it all. Next out, former Monster Jam Co-Rookie of the Year, Mike Pagliarulo in Excalibur. He has had an incredible freestyle season, winning 2 competitions in his sophomore campaign here in Monster Jam. With more on this, we go to Leslie Mears.
So I asked Mike to reflect on his first Stadium Championship Series in his own Monster Jam truck. And the first thing he said, I'm proud of all my freestyles. And I was like, all 20 of them, or the 2 where you actually took home the Freestyle Championship? He said all of them. He said to be out here with this group of drivers is just an honor and a privilege, and I feel like I held my own. He said tonight, he said the ramps look very sendable. We've seen that from our other drivers so far, and he's ready to go hit it hard.
All right, thank you, Leslie. 21 years old, Mike Pagliarulo shared the Co-Rookie of the Year honors with El Toro Loco's Fernando Martinez. He has had a dynamite sophomore campaign, specifically in this competition, Adam.
Yeah, he has just been lights out this season. You know, it's so hard to go up against some of these other veteran drivers that just have these stadiums dialed. But it seems like Excalibur has just been on point the entire season. He's been very aggressive, and that's the style that the Monster Jam fans really enjoy.
Excalibur picking up some momentum here, throttling out across the race ramp. Some air to get Excalibur from one side of the track to the other, which leads Mike Pagliarulo to the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. And here goes Excalibur. Great backflip, checks it up on the brakes. And we'll see if he's got enough left in him as Mama and Papa look on for their baby boy, Mike Pagliarulo, just absolutely throwing Excalibur all over the track at SoFi.
Yeah, this was a great freestyle run from Mike. Great execution on the backflip. You can see the rotation was perfect. Probably could have got a combination move there, but played it safe. And then you can see he just didn't get that left rear wheel on that ramp, but those BKTs able to hook up on that dirt when he landed and keep it on all 4 wheels.
Ryan Anderson has a lead, but will he win the series title? Freestyle continues next on Primetime. Welcome back to round 24 of Monster Jam Primetime. Today's festivities kicked off with the most family-oriented pit party in motorsports as fans arrived early to SoFi Stadium to meet their favorite drivers and take pictures with the Monster Jam trucks. If you want to attend the pit party at your next Monster Jam event, get your tickets at monsterjam.com. During the break, freestyle continued with Jester big air off the ramp, but he would blow a tire right here.
Yeah, more problem for Matt. So unfortunate.
And then Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken on a bicycle didn't fare much better.
Yeah, a little unlucky night for the Pagliarulo family.
Up next, out of Myrtle, South Dakota, Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl. Cole's about a lot of truck gremlins this season. Tonight, no different. With more on this, we check back in with Leslie.
Well, if you've noticed that the Black Pearl sounds a little off, you guys are right. It's down to 7 cylinders. And when I asked Cole, he said that's probably down about 500 horsepower. So he's only got 1,000 horsepower out there. And I said, how do you really make it work for you for freestyle? And he said, it's all about momentum. He said, that's rolling mass out there. So once you get the truck moving, you know, when you're down horsepower, you got to keep up that speed and momentum. So no sharp turns. You got to be smooth with that rear steer and just keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Leslie. So with that being said, and having the 7 cylinders, Adam, how would you navigate this if you're Cole Bernard?
Well, one of the big things is I'm definitely going to look at the track and really map it out more than I would, you know, in the past, because I need to make very, very wide turns like Leslie talked about. You can see you just cannot get that momentum up. Gets a nice jump onto the pod there, but dealing with that horsepower makes everything so different. It makes the saves different, it makes the backflips different, it makes the way that the truck lands different. You know, even these turns right here, you can't throw it in and then whip it around. So it's definitely going to be a difficult challenge for Cole.
Still trying to build some momentum here. Gets up onto the center pod. Now the Black Pearl coming over to the near side portion of the track. There's the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. We'll see if he can nail that with 7 cylinders. Comes up on the back side of that jump. That has turned into a berm. And now here goes the Black Pearl again. Deep side this time. A lot of space in front of him. Covenard heading to try to beat that 9.465. And Morgan & Morgan backflip attempt. So he is going out here, not trying to hold it, not holding any punches. Covenard sends the Black Pearl, and Covenard gets a driver's bounce, but a little too much on the landing, and a one-wheel save attempt here for the Black Pearl. Not enough tire there for him. Had the traction, just didn't have enough room.
Yeah, I guarantee you if he had all those cylinders kicking right now, he would have made this save for sure. You can see that he under-rotated just a little bit, gets it on that wheelie bar, and then it's going to tip over to the side. He does the right thing by trying to turn in and hit the throttle, but he just doesn't have enough snap to kind of flick that truck up back onto all fours, and he ends up on the hood.
Next out is two-time World Finals champion Todd LeDuc in the new Megalodon Stars and Stripes. Shark looking very festive on the road to World Finals, July 4th weekend, so Todd is in the right mentality here as he now tries to take the freestyle lead. Here comes Megalodon Stars and Stripes on the backside. First LA start here for Todd LeDuc. He did finish 18th at Monster Jam World Finals, so one freestyle win on the season. Again, the numbers for Todd have been down this season. They are not typical Todd LeDuc numbers, but the wow moments have still been there selectively.
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, Todd LeDuc is coming in for the backflip.
Morgan & Morgan backflip early here for Todd LeDuc. He greases the back 2 wheels. He's able to nail it. So that was a big risk, but a big reward for Todd LeDuc. And here comes Megalodon Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, for Todd LeDuc, he's been around this sport for a long time, and I think he picks and chooses his battles. You know, some nights he feels like the truck is really good, and he'll go out there and he'll punch it and do his best. But if he feels like the shocks aren't right or the truck isn't right, he's not going to push it over the top.
Boys, disaster there. Just pushes the truck right into that jammer ramp. And now Todd LeDuc recovers, gets Megalodon back on the center part of the track. Now up over one obstacle, nose down from Megalodon Stars and Stripes. And there is a save. You probably could have just parked that right in reverse into the stall. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
You can see Todd LeDuc and the Stars and Stripes Megalodon. Rotation on the backflip was just perfect, landing on all 4 BKTs, taking the pressure off the truck, and then gets a little nose heavy right here. You see the fin flying off the truck. The BKT blows off that bead lock, does a little pirouette, and parks the Megalodon truck right in its spot.
Coming up, the series championship is on the line with Tristan England and JCB Digatron next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by Spin Master. Crush it, crash it, jam it. Welcome back to Monster Jam Primetime at SoFi Stadium. It's round 24. During the break, freestyle action continued, but Adam Anderson, Gravedigger, big break check jump.
Yeah, starts the run off like he wants, but just sometimes in Monster Jam, it's unexpected.
Loses a point, not hitting that 1 minute mark, and now it all comes down to this run. Tristan England, JCB Digatron. Once he reaches 30 seconds, he will win the first Stadium Series championship of his Monster Jam career. So at this point, the first 30 seconds, you just play it safe, you get the time off the clock, and then you go and do whatever it is that you need to do to win this freestyle competition.
Yeah, nice safe jump right there for Tristan England, being very smooth on the throttle, using the outsides of the track, making sure he's lining up the jumps. Great job there. Try to get these first 30 seconds under his belt.
Finished 9th in freestyle last time on this track at World Finals 23. There's a momentum jump onto the center pod for JCB Digatron. And now Tristan England with the series championship in his sights as the clock continues to tick here. And with 30 seconds in the books, he is going for the backflip. He's got the series title, and now he wants the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp. And he's got the BKT tires perfectly lined up, and he lands it. No matter what happens here in this run, Adam, Tristan England is your 2025 Stadium West Series champion.
Yeah, I think that backflip was a little bit of celebration. You gotta think his crew chief is communicating to him right now. Tristan England has a smile on his face. The championship is in the bag. Oh my goodness, what a moment here in SoFi.
BKT tires picking up. You gotta love the traction on a track like this in LA. Having those BKT tires under 12,000 pounds of steel definitely helping these drivers navigate this LA dirt. And it's like a Hollywood movie here in Inglewood with Tristan and trying to win the series. He's accomplished that, but can he win the freestyle competition? And can he also add one more event championship trophy to his collection?
Yeah, he definitely can. The smile on my face is from ear to ear right now for Tristan England. What a moment. He's out there doing pretty much a victory lap right now. Yeah, nice sky wheelie right there for Tristan England. Gets it back on all 4 BKTs.
Great on the landing there, able to get the front nose down on the truck. And here he goes again. Beautiful vertical sky wheelie, back-to-back bounce. Parking it right in front of Monster Mutt. That's going to do it. There's your series champion, Tristan England. Let's take a look at the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
This is that celebratory backflip. Right here, he knew that he had the championship in the bag. What an unbelievable moment. Gets it back on all 4 BKTs. And then this sky wheelie getting it 90 degrees up in the air, bouncing on the wheelie bar. Wow, what a run.
We're not done yet. Out of Lafayette, Louisiana, Caleb Blood and everybody's favorite fearless unicorn, Sparkle Smash. And it was here, Adam, a year ago, the Sparkle Smash made its Monster Jam debut with the Smash Mountain stunt. Caleb Blood bringing that truck onto the track. So a full circle moment after 1 year for Kayla to bring this truck back onto the track.
Yeah, it definitely has some significance for this truck and for the driver, Caleb Blood. This is one of those things where you have to think she has a little bit of confidence, a little bit of edge, and as well, these guys are fighting for the championship, so sometimes a dark horse can come in like Caleb Blood with a little momentum and confidence and pull out a win.
And she is one of 3 drivers on this series that have not won a freestyle competition. I know that eats away at her a little bit because she is a very highly contested competitor, and she is a freestyle force, and she does very well, Adam, in the Southern California track. She loves this California dirt, this LA dirt that you've been referencing.
Yeah, I really do think it caters to Caleb Blood's style. She's very aggressive on the throttle, which I enjoy watching that type of style, especially on this dirt, because when it's a little more tacky like this, you know, it jolts the truck a little bit. You get a little more excitement. You get a little bit more wild, and Caleb Blood is able to make some incredible saves.
Over the car stack, leads her to the Morgan backflip ramp for the people. Here we come with Sparkle Smash up onto the ramp, center lane of the backflip. She still corkscrews it a little bit. And there goes the mouth of the unicorn. Caleb Blood with a flat tire in the back. Crew chief loving it right now, and she is not quite done.
Caleb Blood gonna burn this truck into the ground. I love what I'm seeing, a little bit of chaos. Heavy on the throttle for Caleb Blood here in SoFi.
She is down to the rim on that rear left wheel, and she is not letting that stop her at all. Caleb Blood on 3 wheels right now for Sparkle Smash. And finally slowing down. What a run. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, Caleb Blood bringing the excitement to the fans, but let's see. You can see a little bit of a pirouette there, and right there on impact, it was just too much for that left side rim to hang on. And then Caleb Blood does a fantastic job by just putting the pedal to the metal and driving on.
Let's check out the current freestyle leaderboard. Son of a Digger still with the lead, 9.465. Sparkle Smash slides into that 2nd spot. JCB Diggatron in 3rd. Megalodon Stars and Stripes 4th. And Black Pearl in 5th. Up next, it's the final 2 freestyle runs right here on Primetime. We are back with inclusion freestyle here in Inglewood. It's round 24 as we close out Stadium Championship Series West. Our next competitor is Bryce Kenny in Monster Mud. He has had a phenomenal season, especially in freestyle, and with more on the goals Bryce set for 2025. Let's go right back to Leslie Mears.
So Bryce Kenny had 3 goals this season. He wanted to win 1 overall, he wanted to win 7 event competitions, and then he wanted to finish in the top 3. Well, he fell just short in one of those categories. However, he exceeded the other. He's going to finish in the top 3. He had 6 competition wins and 6 overalls this season, and he lends it to the fact that he's really got the attitude of only trying to control what he can control out there. He's not worried about other people's runs or what they're doing in skills competitions. He's only worrying about the mutt and himself, and he says that has made all the difference this year.
And Bryce always talks about controlling the controllables and letting everything else that you can't control just happen and dealing with it. But when I talk to Bryce about this season, and you and I have said it's the best season of his career, he does not agree with that. He just thinks that he's still doing the same thing he's always done, still driving the same aggressive way. I just think the results this year, Adam, have been a little bit better for Bryce Kenny.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can say it's no different, but it has been. You know, you got to look at the scoreboard for Bryce Kenny as he comes into the backflip.
Morgan backflip attempt from Monster Mutt. Bryce Kenny sending it up. The Extreme Air Award winner gets down, tries for a moonwalk. And he's able to continue. There's your score to be 9.465.
Yeah, he was so much. Oh my goodness, look at the air in Inglewood.
Matsoji, Extreme Air Award winner for jumps like that. He pushes right into that back end of the berm ramp, and now he is able to get back into a donut.
I can't even get a word in. Bryce Kenny is bringing the excitement.
He's trying to restart it, but they're not going to let him go. He's trying to get it refired, not going to let him go. Here is the original Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
Bryce Kenny gets a fantastic backflip right here. Again, great rotation for all these drivers tonight. Gets a slight combination move in there, and then we're going to watch him with the 1-2 punch onto the pod. The biggest air that we've seen tonight. Comes down heavy on those left two BKTs, but able to take it like a champ. Ends up on all four.
Our final competitor is the 2024 JCB Racing World Finals champion out of Fortville, Indiana. This is Zach Gardner in Wildside. Talk about a driver that really cemented himself, put himself on the Monster Jam Superstar map. It was Zach Gardner here last year when he won the JCB Racing World Finals Championship. Did not have the result he wanted in freestyle, finishing 23rd at the biggest event of the year.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you win racing in World Finals, you kind of let that wall down because you've just felt this moment of success that was so big that you kind of forget that the rest of the competitions are going on. And for Zach Gardner, I really think that that's what happened. You know, he was so happy with himself winning racing that maybe he just let his guard down a little bit. Zach Gardner is great in freestyle, and I think he's been getting momentum this entire season, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Does have 3 freestyle wins on the season with an average up in the high 7s, 6th highest average on the series, so right there in the middle of the pack. But it has been go big or go home for him with wow moments insinuated in these freestyle runs is something that Zach is really getting accustomed to doing. And now Wildside right now just trying to find his next stop here on the freestyle track. Up over the car stack goes Zach Gardner. Smoking a little bit in the back, transmission heating up, so maybe not wanting to overdo it just yet. Now Zach Gardner lines up here for the backside of the ramp. He's going for the 8-pack, and he's got an 8-pack backflip. He dominated that ramp on the arena circuit. Now he's doing it on stadiums as well. First time we see the 8-pack tonight.
Great job from Zach Gardner, able to kind of get a little bit of variety in there. Everybody's seen the backflip off of the trench box, trying to mix it up, get a bigger score.
And now Zach Gardner finally going to be done with his run. Here's the original Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
Watch this 8-pack backflip right here. He gets a great rotation, gets a little push off of the ramp, able to push it back a little bit. Sparks are flying. Great run from Zach Gardner.
Here's our final freestyle top 5. Son of a Digger takes to win Sparkle Smash, Monster Mud, JCB Diggatron, and Megalodon Stars and Stripes. Ryan gets 12 points with the win as we check out our final BKT overall event leaderboard. Son of a Digger wins it with 34. JCB Diggatron in 2nd, Wildside in 3rd, Monster Mud in 4th, and Sparkle Smash in 5th with 21 points. For Ryan, it's his 4th freestyle win of the season, which now led the series and his 4th event championship. Now we head down to Leslie to hear from our event winner.
Ryan, you did your job tonight. You know, you brought the excitement that you wanted to. You know, 2 points shy of a perfect event here. Not the ending of the season that you wanted, but still a valid season for you in a brand new ride.
Man, I'm stoked. I had a blast. I might not have won the championship, but I definitely stole the show tonight, man. It was crazy. It's exactly how I'd want to go out, man. My guys right here, Bryce and Omar, they have kept the truck 100%, so I owed it to them. If we're not going to win it, we're going to at least go out in style, baby. We had this place on their feet. We were going wild. The truck was upside down, back on the wheels, and going crazy. So, hey, what better way to head to the World Finals than a wild night right here at SoFi? We rocked the house. Not one single person was on their seat. They were on their feet going wild, and that's how I like going out, baby.
Going out with a big win for Ryan Anderson as we take a look at our final season point standings here on the West. 8-point differential between JCB Diggatron and Son of a Digger. Monster Mud finishes 3rd, Grave Digger 4th, Wildside in 5th. For Tristan, it's his 4th career series championship, first one on a stadium. Now let's get back to the track and join Leslie Mears, our Stadium West Series champion.
One thing I know, and not many people know, Tristan, is that you make it look easy on the track, but there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't see. The hard work that you put in at MJU, on the simulator, to make all this come to life. How good does it feel to see your hard work pay off?
So good. I mean, not only just being a fan of it my whole life, and just watching this sport grow and amass to what it is now, and to be a part of it is the coolest thing. I mean, I'm not only just getting to teach, we're doing R&D tests, we're doing everything you can name behind the wheel of these Monster Jam trucks to make it the best for the Monster Jam fans. So, I mean, we're about to kick off the World Finals, which is like the Super Bowl for us. And let me tell you, I won my division. You know, capitalize on everything that we do out here because we only get one shot. There's only one life to live, so we're living it to the fullest, man. And I'm taking this back to Texas. Might take it on a beach trip before World Finals, and I'm living the dream. This is awesome.
What a night, what a series, what a season for Tristan England and the entire JCB team. The next time we see you, it'll be from Rice-Eccles Stadium for World Finals 24, when we bring you all the coverage of the biggest event of the year with rounds 25 and 26. For Adam Entignap and Leslie Mears, I'm Scott Jordan. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right here next time on Monster Jam Primetime.